Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name is Thomas Evans. It is good to see you all. It is good to see you all. Welcome to the IRA Toolbox. Today, we're going to be talking about data flows. And basically, my job is to kind of make sure that you understand how case data flows works and what that's about. Now, real quickly, I don't know, I'm a pretty handy guy. And so I just kind of went and I began to go to my toolbox and I got a screwdriver. Then I grabbed another screwdriver. Then I realized I had an additional screwdriver. And I'm saying to myself, why, do I have all of these screwdrivers? Now, if you ever looked in my toolbox, I probably have about 30 screwdrivers. They're all different sizes, they're all different shapes. Each one deals with something. This little small one here, you have to do little tight spaces and things like that. This long one is for reach. And so ultimately, the point I'm trying to make to you guys is that when you deal with a toolbox and you have anything that's considered a tool, you don't just use one. You have to have a variety of them because you never know when you may be in a tight bind and you need something that's going to reach, you need something that's going to be for tight spaces. You need, I have a hammer here and I actually have about 5 or 6 hammers, and each of the hammers are used for something different. So today, when we talk about your case data flows, I want you to kind of keep in mind different tools, different reasons, different purposes. Our overview today, I'm going to talk to you about how data moves, what that's about, and the purpose of it. We're also going to look at some of the basics of our home screen within our break analytics software. I'm also going to talk to you about the data flow between the matching modules, how that's pertinent, and which ones connect with which. And all of them don't connect, but there are a few that does. So I'm going to explain that for you. Then we'll also look at the IRA owner and the spouse. We'll talk about clients and beneficiaries. And then the key takeaways, I'll kind of come back and kind of explain what that's all about. First, the question is, what is a flow? Why is a flow important? What are we talking about when we talk about a flow? A flow is the structured movement of data from one module to another. It explains how information connects, how information is updated, and how information is reused. The object of flows, in case data flows, is to save time so that you're not having to enter information over and over and over again. So the object again is to make sure that we have something that's there that can move over very easily without you having to be stressed about trying to enter something constantly. Now I have here for you a picture of our home screen. Now this is our home screen for our RISE system. Now, if you'll notice in the left-hand corner, we have what's called Rise and Crest. Those are our two modes within the same screen there. So this is the home shot of what it looks like for our Rise. And you'll notice that we have columns. So on the left side, we have a certain row of columns there. On the set in the middle, we have what I would call a second row or columns. And then on the right, we have our third row or columns. But again, this is what it looks like on our foundational level, which is our Rise home screen. I want you to get a real good look at that because in a moment, it's going to change. Look at there. This is our Crest home screen. The biggest difference is that most of our raw modules have been taken off of the Crest screen, so therefore it goes right back to all of those other modules that you saw on the Rise screen. Today, we're going to really focus more on Rise than Crest, so I don't want you to get too tied into that. But I'm going to change screens, and what we're really going to focus on is that first row that's right there on the left, what we call the owner or client row. I've got it circled. And within that circle, there are 4 modules that we're going to really focus on. This month, specifically with our company, we've been doing a lot of focuses on Roth conversions. And because of that, I felt like it would be really good for us to just kind of focus on the owner or client row because our Roth conversion is one of those modules that's in that particular section. And because it's in that section, it's important that you understand the foundational principle of entering your data. So what we have is the IRA owner and spouse. In that, remember I showed you earlier this circle with the 4 modules. Well, with owner and spouse, we have 3 modules specifically that are involved there. We have the required minimum distribution module, simply RMDs. We have the other module, which is the Roth conversion. And then we have our third module, which is the extended, or also known as the stretch. So you can stretch certain aspects. Now, what's interesting about the IRA owner and spouse, and the reason I'm stressing this, is on the right here, you'll notice general IRA owner and then spousal owner. Those are the forms within each of these modules. So when you fill out the IRA owner information, watch the data flow. The required minimum distribution IRA owner also flows through the Roth conversion comparison module. That also flows to the extended stretch modules. Remember, we talked about flows earlier, and I was explaining that means that once you enter that information, you don't have to enter it again. So if you go into required minimum distribution and you select the IRA owner, put their name in there, and you put the spouse's name in there, guess what? That information is going to show up in the Roth conversion. That information is also going to show up in the stretch traditional IRA and the stretch Roth conversion, Roth IRA. So the idea again is once you enter it there, you don't even have to worry about it. You can just simply go to the next module and then fill out the other remaining information that's necessary. Now, it's important for us to understand this about our software. The functionality throughout every module operates the same way. There's no different in functionality. The difference, however, is in the data that you may input into the different modules. So even though I showed you a lot of the other modules and I told you we're only going to focus on this particular area here, I want you to keep in mind that functionally, you're not going to, nothing changes. These are considered green because that, hey, they're good to go. We've got the check mark there. That means that they're awesome. And because they're awesome, that means I can now go from one module to the next module to the third module. That's it. Those are the three modules that are connected with the IRA owner and spouse. There's no other modules that are set up the exact same way as these three are. Again, we're focusing on that left-hand side. Now, I told you that there were four modules, so this is the fourth one, which is, we call it the SEP, which is also considered the 72T. So if you're going to do a comparison or even the RMD method, this one doesn't have the owner and spouse. This one has client and beneficiary. Now, you'll notice the beneficiary is optional. It's not necessary that you put that information in there unless you really have it. However, I'm just trying to show you the difference in how the modules are in how they're set. So again, owner and spouse will not flow here because this is not part of that data flow. So what happens with data flow is you have a sequence, and at a certain point, that sequence will stop. And now you pick up a whole new sequence. And that's what's happening here with the set. We now have a whole new sequence. So it's not an owner and spouse, it is a client and beneficiary. Now, what are our takeaways today? What is it that we saw? What is it that we can, kind of leave this video and say, you know what? I've learned something today. I got something. One of the things that I hope you got from this is the visual connection between the rise and the crest and how the module looks a little different, but if they're in the same mode. The only difference between the two is rise is your foundational toolkit to get up and running. Crest is our complete powerhouse solution for optimum growth. We also talked about your entering data one time for ease of use so that you're not having to constantly put information in there over and over and over again. Then we also talked about how your account owner, spouse, your client, and beneficiary flow, they ensure consistency so that once you put the information in there, you know that it's going to flow where it needs to flow and you're not having to worry about anything changing or anything like that. It really makes the system and the situation that you're doing look so great. So what happens, and I tell clients this all the time, it makes you look like a great professional when you know what you're doing, when you're on the software and you can utilize it and you can navigate without having to worry about what you're doing, why you're doing it. All of it is set right there in front of you, and you're able to know, okay, this flows here, this flows there. It makes it so easy and it's efficient. That's the biggest thing that we want to do. Anytime we're on any kind of software, anything that we do, when we go to the grocery store, we go to the drive-through, we're looking for efficiency. We don't want to be there all day. We want to be able to put something in there and get out. And that is the object to case data flows. You're able to put your information in there and efficiently it's going to flow to the next module and you can kind of move and maneuver from there. Again, remember, the only thing that's going to be different is the data. That's the only thing that changes. Now, that's all I'm going to show you today. I've got some other videos that we're going to be doing, and I'm going to show you the middle rows. We're going to go through and we're going to deal with the right rows. And then there's some other videos that I'll do later on where I'll actually show you how to navigate and how to put your numbers in and what your scenarios will look like and things like that. But my job right now is to really just help you understand how to go through your toolbox and how to determine which tool you need for the necessary mode and that you're not using the wrong tool because if you use the wrong tool sometimes your tools can be a little bit similar. These are both considered pliers. One is considered a needle nose, the other one's not a needle nose. So what happens if you're in a tight space? Do you use the regular plier or do you use the needle nose? And this is the point that I'm trying to make through these videos that we're going to be doing here with FinCW. We want you to understand which tool to use in the right moment so that you're not worrying about how to do what needs to be done. You've got enough to worry about. We want to take a lot of that stress and worry from you. We've got an email address on here, and we've also got a phone number. All you have to do is email us if you have any questions. You can call us, and me and my staff, we're here waiting for you. We are looking forward to you calling us so that we can help you and assist you with any and everything that's necessary. You can also find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on Instagram, and you can find us on Facebook. And soon you'll be able to find us on YouTube, where all of our videos will be uploaded. But Break Analytics is the software that's going to change your life. It's going to revolutionize everything that you're doing with your business because it's going to help you be able to calculate what's needed to be calculated so that you're not having to think about it. Let the software do it all for you. My name is Thomas Evans, and I'm your sales support representative. I am considered the IRA Toolbox. This was for you. Anytime you need me, I'm going to be available for you. Just let me know. All right, guys? Hey, we look forward to talking to you again and all of that kind of good stuff. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to do something for you. I'll probably go ahead and I'm going to, well, no, you know what? I was just going to go to the website, but no, that's okay. I've taken enough of your time already, about 15, 20 minutes. I don't want to keep you all day. I want to be just as efficient as the software is. If you need us, I've given you the phone number. I've given you our web address. Reach out to us and let us know if you need us for anything. We're always here for you from 9 to 5. All right. Real quick, we are also on the East Coast. So if you are trying to reach out to us, keep in mind that we're East Coast time because we do have some clients that are Pacific, Central, and all of that. But keep in mind, we are East Coast. So if you want to contact us, we want to adjust to make sure that we're here to serve you in the best possible way. All right.